Hey guys, welcome back. So last video, you guys saw that I was doing the oil change and I was checking the condition of my oil pan, and I did see that there was a leak from what appeared to be the rear main seal. And like I said in the video, it's not a common failure on these that the rear main seal just goes bad. Typically, it does happen, don't get me wrong, but it's just not common. Typically what happens is that there's an outside influence that makes it leak. The more common situation is that the PCV valve is clogging up, and that is causing that during boost there's a lot of buildup inside the crankcase of air pressure, and air is going to take the path of least resistance. And the rear main seal in this engine is the biggest rubber seal on it. So anytime that there's pressure inside, it's possible that that's what's pushing out, and that's the leak that I am seeing. So because of that, I went into FCP Euro and I ordered a PCV kit. And it's not just the oil separator, it's the hoses, the clamps, the breather lines, everything. Because I didn't want to start touching stuff that's already 8 years old and I break it and now I'm stuck having to wait for another part. I just wanted to replace it all. It's not that expensive, so it just made sense. So with that said, let me show you what I have. Okay, so here I have the main breather line. This is the one that goes to the turbo inlet right here in this corner. And this is difficult to pull off, so I went ahead and got a new one, purge valve, the new little line that connects to this, and two new clamps. The main thing is this right here, the oil separator. We are going to remove the coils. Really, we only need to remove these two, but I need to disconnect all four so I can get this whole connector piece off. And since we are replacing this check valve and this line, there is a little clamp that holds this harness. We're going to remove this clip. My plan for now is actually to pull this off in two pieces. First one is going to be oil separator, this hose that runs under here, and the evap solenoid. In order to do that, I need to just disconnect the solenoid right here and remove this clamp so I can pull the hose off of it. That way, all of this is one part that I can just pull off. The second part will be the main breather pipe that you see runs in between the solenoids here, and it goes whoop, right there to the turbo inlet. That's too much snaking that I really can't pull that all in one piece, so I'm going to have to do that separately. I'm going to go ahead and pull off the intake to give myself more space there. This screw here is the only one that's actually going to be able to come out. All the other ones that are along the perimeter of the oil separator are actually captive. So you're going to be able to loosen them, but they're not going to come out. Oh, nice. Woohoo! Yeah. All right, so it didn't fight me all that much. So now you see that this thing, let's see, it goes all the way here. That is now, once I lift this out of the way, I should be able to snap this off and be able to separate them. I'm going to lift this harness here so I can have more space to snake this underneath. All right, now we have enough space that we can separate this. Whew. Keep in mind, that was a little rough with it, but that's because I'm not reusing any of this, so I don't care. All right, so we got the oil separator out, as you can see, but the problem is that I have not been able to get the breather hose out of the way. So here's what's happening. The head on it is so big that I don't have enough space to get it out from between the diverter valve and this metal pipe. I've tried snaking it different ways. I mean, I could in theory just bend this and get it out, but I'd rather not do that. But I did notice that there's one mounting bolt right there, and it's a T30, I think. I want to loosen that, and that should give me enough flexibility on this that I can do it without risking bending it. Okay. Let's see. There you go. Haha! Yeah! Alright, well here you go. Here's the underside. You see there, that's the cyclonic oil separator right there. And then that's the old one. New line, old line, etc., etc. So yeah, I am happy. If there's any flaw, it's going to be inside this, and I'm not going to take the time to open it, but yeah, based on the color, this is definitely original. So I'm glad I'm changing it up. All right, so while we have this open, let's take a look in here. Oh, this looks good. This looks really good. Look at that fresh oil in there, huh? Oh yeah. I am happy. There's barely anything on the cams. All right, so because I know people are going to ask, this is not a Mark 8 PCV. This is a Mark 7 original to this car. All right. And the reason that I did not upgrade to the Mark 8 one is because I really don't have a necessity for it. The Mark 8 PCV is great for fixing your smoking issues only if you install it a certain way, which is with the specific turbo inlet pipe that has an additional port for you to be able to use the jet tube for the TIG-1 breather pipe. So it's not just a matter of getting the Mark 8 PCV and slapping it on. He actually released an update to his video, and on that one he goes into very good detail explaining the pros and cons, etc., how you need to set it up if you are going to go into Mark 8 PCV setups. And honestly, for my setup, I had no necessity for it, so why complicate myself with it? I'm just going to stick with the latest revision of the Mark 7, and it should be perfectly fine. Make sure you clean the mating surface all along it. Be very careful not to drop any dirt inside the engine when you're doing it. All right, here's the new one. I'm just going to snake it in there like the old one was. And then here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to match up this angle on the new one with the new parts. All right, so here we go. There's the old one there. You see the clamps and the orientation of the solenoid. And here's the new one. I think I got it spot on. All right, so let's go ahead and install this. Now, before you go install it, make sure also that the gasket is sitting nice and flush and it's clean, obviously. Just check all the way around, look at it from the side, and make sure it's not poking out anywhere that needs to sit. Because when I first got it, for example, this was like this. You want to make sure that everything is nice and flush in the groove. Okay, so I'm going to try to get this under the harness, but then I got to deal with hooking this up onto this end here. You see here, these are the clips that I was telling you about. This is what actually holds it on there. I don't know if you can see it there. There you go. Be very careful with that gasket and make sure that it's sitting perfect. Once it makes a click, now you're good. Yeah. Okay, now we just bring down all the bolts by hand. Remember, this is plastic. You don't want to go too crazy with it. I'm just driving them down. I'm not tightening yet. All right, so everything is hooked up in there. Everything is torqued down. Now, this does have a torque sequence. Just so you guys know, it is way back here by the breather tube. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7 right there. And those all go to 80 inch-pound. And then this one here, that's just to secure the breather line, that's only 40 inch-pound. All right, so honestly, that was not a bad job at all, and it didn't take all that long. With filming, it's hard to gauge it, especially because I'm filming in 2 languages. I want to say that this is probably within the hour. You can get this done. Take your time. Do not force anything because this is all plastic. So you want to make sure if you feel that you're having to force it, you're probably doing something wrong or it's not sitting right or whatnot. So double check yourself. Now that the PCV replacement has been done, I can get back to what I had originally scheduled. Our subwoofer and amp. This is the Haldex service kit fluid for the front and rear differentials. So anyway, guys, I hope you like this kind of content. I mean, this is what I like doing, like little modifications and maintenance stuff. So yeah, if this is stuff that you like doing, go ahead and give me a like, consider subscribing. And like I always say, more projects for the Golf R and the Jetta. I'll see you guys next time.